Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Woodmo are the online expert when it comes to spare parts, and the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a large generation model, even then they have the spare part available, they have the entire catalog, and the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today, check out the app, it's available both for iOS as well as Android devices, and also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers.
The Maruti Suzuki Alto 800 is one vehicle which needs no introduction. Well, the Alto is synonymous to affordability and practicality. And today we'll be giving you a detailed tour of all the features being offered on this VXI trim of the Alto 2022. Let's begin with the key fob. So the keys are quite basic, however you do get remote center locking with two buttons to lock and unlock the vehicle, whereas the second key is quite bare and basic. This entry-level hatchback has been powered by a 796cc 3-cylinder petrol engine which churns out about 48 bhp of power and 69 Nm of torque. Let's move to its frontal overview. The front end is characterized by these large chunky headlamps. These are conventional reflector based halogen headlamps, and all the elements are again based out of halogen only. The radiator grille of this vehicle is characterized by these hexagonal elements which lend it a kind of a quirky and aesthetic appeal. As far as the dimensions are concerned, the Alto is a little over 3400 in terms of length and is quite proportionate in that aspect. Now the tires are 12 inches and the exact profile is 80 and the width happens to be around 145 mm, which might appear a bit small, but yes, if you consider the overall wheelbase and segmentation of this vehicle, you might be able to ignore this fact to a very large extent. Considering the utilitarian value that this car has, the indicators are mounted on the fenders itself. However, if I talk about the ORVMs over here, these are not the flimsy ORVMs, but yes, definitely you will have to adjust them from the toggle that you get inside the vehicle. These are manually adjustable and definitely there is no electric adjustment of any sort which has been offered. The ground clearance is around 160 mm as I've already mentioned over here, and should be enough to travel over small potholes in the Indian traffic conditions. This here is a unique embellishment which is essentially a rub strip that you get from the VXI variant onwards. Just like the front end of the Alto, its tail end is also quite bare and basic, where you have all the basic necessities in place. So the tail lamp cluster is quite bulky, where you will be able to notice all the elements based out of halogen itself. The boot unlocking mechanism can be a bit tedious, where you have to insert the physical key to access the boot space, and this opens up to a not very large 177 liters of boot space, but we have to keep in mind the overall dimensions that this vehicle has. You definitely get a parcel tray, and the loading lip isn't very high as such, so no issue in terms of that. This is the parcel tray that you get, which is of decent quality again. You can definitely fold the second row seats using these toggles and expand the boot space, which you might have to do very often considering the 177 liter volume that you get. One thing that I'd like to definitely mention is this plastic insulation that you get, which covers all kinds of loose wires. The lower bumper again has the placement of two parking sensors, which has become a standard norm now. So yes, you definitely get that on the bumper itself. You will be pleasantly surprised by the wide door aperture that this car offers you, and this will be a boon for people with a heavy build. Now if we talk about the door pad in particular, the trims are made out of plastic, but the good thing here is that they've offered a dual tone finish, which is essentially a combination of beige and black. The storage spaces are also quite average because there are only magazine holders which have been offered. The seats are manually adjustable and not adjustable for height. So the first thing that you'll notice when you sit inside the Alto is that tall people or people with a heavy build will feel the lack of space inside, but if you're a person who's not so tall, that issue won't be arising for you. The steering wheel has no multimedia controls in particular, you only get this silverish finish, while on the left you have your controls for your wipers and on the right you have your conventional headlamp related controls. Now the instrument cluster has no tachometer, which might be a con for some people, but yes, you get a small multi-information display which can be toggled through this button and gives you all the essential information about the vehicle, including your average fuel economy, trip, AB, as well as distance to empty. Moving to the center console, now in the VXI variant you happen to get this 2-DIN multimedia system which supports aux as well as USB and Bluetooth connectivity. So you can definitely connect your phone via Bluetooth and accept and decline calls using the buttons that you get, and this is the pairing procedure for your device. The buttons feel quite tactile and it is overall very user friendly, so no issue in terms of that. The orange lighting that you get matches with the instrument cluster and creates a good ambience inside the vehicle. Now the lower part of the center console has your aircon controls, which is a manual aircon unit. The rotary dials have been borrowed from the likes of the Wagoner and the Ignis, so give you a solid feel also. So the storage spaces are not as practical as you would like them to be, which is essentially because it is too deep down in the center console. However, you do get a 12-volt charging socket and this is the 5-speed manual gearbox that you get. The VXI variant only gets front 2 power windows, the buttons for which have been placed on the center console again, and this is the manual handbrake that you get. Now the plastic quality of the center console does not feel really solid as such. The glove box is of decent size, so you can place your daily knickknacks over here, no issue in terms of that either. If we move up, this is the internal rear view mirror, which is not even manually dimming, which is kind of a glaring omission at this price point, I'd say. So yes, that is one feature that could have been added on this variant. This is the halogen dome lamp that you get, which happens to be a necessary, I think, at this price point. The sun visors are quite basic for both the passenger as well as the driver, so you don't get any kind of a vanity mirror or anything of that sort over here. So this was all about the interiors of the Alto VXI. Let us move to the rear seating experience and talk about the kind of space that this car offers you. So here I have set the front seat to a driving position of a person about 5 feet and 9 or 5 feet and 10 inches, and this is the kind of knee room I've been getting over here. So my knees are already touching the front seat, which shows how space can be a crunch for taller people. My height, for example, is between 5 feet 9 and 5 feet 10 inches, and I am facing that crunch. So yes, if your family consists of people who are not very tall, this car becomes an ideal option. But for tall people, as you can see, this is not the most ideal place, even in terms of under thigh support and overall knee room. The width can only support 2 adults over here, and a third person won't be comfortable. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, do not forget to subscribe to our channel Autoportal and also hit the bell icon to never miss any of our updates. Thank you so much for watching this video.